Welcome and thank you for watching this video. Today we are going to talk about how you can create fast box and whisker plot using Excel. In the video Fast Descriptive Statistics using Excel, we discussed how you can use the Descriptive Statistics Analysis tool so that you can have a table containing the most important statistical measures that can describe your data. However, if you want to visualize some of these measures, you can use the box and whisker plot. It's actually a 5-number summary because it contains 5 measures of central tendency, like the first quartile, the third quartile, the median, the minimum value, and the maximum value. And if you combine them, you can have an idea of the skewness behind the data. So here, where the median is closer to the first quartile than the third quartile, you can figure out that there is positive skewness in the data, meaning that the mean is higher than the median. But the most important role of the box and whisker plot is that it can help you identify outliers. Outliers are extreme values that may be due to measurement or recording errors, and after identifying them, you can reconduct your analysis without including them. However, how does Excel define outliers? Outliers beyond the upper fence have a value greater than the value of the third quartile plus 1.5 times the interquartile range, whereas outliers below the lower fence have a value less than the value of the first quartile minus 1.5 times the interquartile range. And of course, as you can imagine, the interquartile range is equal to the distance between the third and the first quartile. Now we are talking about fences. The value of the upper fence is equal to the maximum value of the observations that are not identified as outliers, whereas the value of the lower fence is equal to the minimum value of the observations that are not identified as outliers. And in order to gain a better understanding of these concepts, we are going to review the following example using Excel. Here we have 24 observations, and we want to create a box and whisker plot. First, we highlight them, and from the menu bar, we click Insert, Insert Statistics Chart. We click the down arrow, and we select the box and whisker plot. We can delete the grid lines. I delete the title as well. And I select the values of the parts of the chart as labels. Here we are. So the value of the upper fence is equal to 720. And it is equal to the maximum value. Here is the third quartile, and the default option for calculating the third quartile in the box and whisker plot is the quartile exclusive function of Excel. We have presented in a previous video what is the difference between the quartile exclusive and the quartile inclusive functions of Excel. And anybody that may be interested can watch it. Here is the value of the median. That is equal to 540. With the X sign, Excel denotes the value of the mean. That is close to 545. Here is the value here of the first quartile. And its value is equal to 492.5, and the minimum value is expected to be equal to 390. And that's correct. Now here is an example where we do not have outliers. If we had outliers, for example, if the observation with the higher value was equal to 900, we would have an outlier, and the value of the upper fence would be equal to the second largest value. So the upper fence is equal to 670, and we use the large function to estimate it. And if we had an outlier below the lower fence, for example, if the observation with the minimum value was, let's say, 250, the outlier would be 250, and the lower fence would have a value equal to 440, and we can use the small function to estimate it. And here it is. Thank you very much for watching.